HJC has a wide variety of helmets: entry-level, adventure, dirt, motocross, sports helmets, touring helmets, and even bicycle helmets. Now, they've released their new top-of-the-line helmet, the RPHA 1. It's time to talk about it from behind the desk. So before anything, this is not my helmet. This actually belongs to Earl, and he asked us if we wanted to feature it here on Behind the Desk, and I said, sure, why not? Sana all. Oh man, this helmet is so nice! I wish I had one too. Lucky naman si Earl, meron ganito. There are a lot of firsts with the RPHA 1. The first FIM homologated lid, the first dedicated track helmet, and the first officially licensed Red Bull colorway on a helmet. Red Bull Austin GP colorway, to be exact. Now, prior to this, you could only get an official Red Bull graphic on your lid if you race for Red Bull. So guys like Checo, Max, Binder, Early, not really, but if you pay for it, I guess you're allowed to ride around with a Red Bull lid. All right, so fun fact. HJC is the official headgear provider for the Red Bull racing team, fielding its RPHA 90 with a special graphic. Now, that one you cannot get. In the box, of course, you get the helmet itself and this nice bag that it comes with, which is actually shaped like the lid, which I think is pretty cool. And the material of the bag is quite nice. It feels like you can actually wipe the visor with it. You also get a rear spoiler, which is massive, by the way. And as you can see, Earl hasn't put it on yet. Maybe we should put it on for him. No. Okay. Maybe not. So it goes there, and the spoiler does come with its own bag. There's only one lens that the RPHA 1 comes with. It's the clear, as you can see right there. Unfortunately, it does not come with a smoke like the RPHA 11s, but this is one heck of a lid. And it also comes with tearaways for the visor, and that's going to come in handy when you're on the racetrack. And it also does have a pin lock, which Earl has strangely not put on just yet, but you should put on the pin lock as soon as you get the helmet, actually, if you ask me. On to the helmet itself. Let's start with the vents. You have two up here, which you can open and close for the brow, and then you have one right here, which you can also open and close. You have two by the chin. One will affect your face, and the other one will clear the visor. And then you have two here on the side for the exhaust. And on the back, this is where it comes out, and you have also another exhaust down here for that Venturi effect. Let's talk about the visor. This only has two detents, but it does feel a little bit more, I guess, stable than the one on the RPHA 11. Because the RPHA 11, it does have a lot of detents. However, when you're riding, let's say in the city position, after a lot of use, it's eventually just gonna drop on you. This seems like it's gonna hold wherever the visor is placed, which is actually pretty cool. Over here, you have of course, the lock mechanism, which you should be using when especially if you're riding at speed, whether you're on the expressway, on some twisties, or especially on the racetrack. However, it does get a little tricky to lock it at times because, I mean, I'm only using my hands without gloves, but it is a little slippery, and it's just, you need to make sure that you lock it before especially if you enter the racetrack. Now, the visor of the RPHA 1 is still toolless, so you can change it without needing screwdrivers or a coin. You simply, if you look this way, you just pop that up that way, and then you twist. It's not as easy as that of the RPHA 11, but it does seem like it's actually a lot more secure. So this is my RPHA 11. This was the top-of-the-line lid for HJC, but until this one came out. So let's go back to the airflow. as you can see here, these vents here are pretty big, but a very small vent here. When you're riding at speed with this lid, the airflow is actually pretty good already, but this one is still better. Let me explain why. So this, you get the flow of the wind on your face, but this one, this vent right here is for the visor so that it will keep it not fogged. And this little one right here is more for the face, and it's more focused. So what happens with this, with the airflow with the RPHA 1 is that you have a consistent breeze on your face, kind of like having an electric fan faced at you. While this, you kind of get the, it's kind of like you're outdoors and you feel the breeze every so often. But this one is really more focused on your face, and it does get to your face, especially when you're sweating, and it just wicks away the sweat quite nicely. Now, something else I want to talk about is the shape of the lid. If you can see, it has a little bit of a, I don't know, like a little hump right here, but it kind of swoops that way. If you look at the RPHA 11 compared to it, it is quite different in terms of the shape. This is a little bit more flat here. This has a little bit of that curve. And that's really there to cut the air, especially if you're riding at speed. Now, the RPHA 11 has 3 shell sizes, which is actually pretty good already. However, the RPHA 1 has 4 and 7 sizes, from 2XS all the way to 2XL. Let's talk about the weight, right? So the RPHA 1 comes in at 1,500 grams. The RPHA 11 comes in at 1,350 grams. So yes, the RPHA 11 is actually a little bit lighter than the RPHA 1. However, if you look at the side of both lids, the RPHA 11 has a very little spoiler right here in the back, while the RPHA 1, look at the massive spoiler that you get there, and especially if you attach the extra spoiler, which brings it out to about here, it makes it even bigger, which means that your head won't be bobbing around like that, much like it will tend to happen if you're riding at speed with the RPHA 11. So even though the RPHA 1 is heavier than the RPHA 11, it's better balanced. Let's talk about an important factor for most lids, which is, aside from the safety, of course, the wind noise. Now, the RPHA 11, as great as a helmet it is, I really love it, by the way, it does get a little loud, especially when you're on the expressway or on the racetrack. The RPHA 1 is a little bit similar to that of the RPHA 11 when you talk about the wind noise. However, what HJC did is that they put these extra paddings on the side where the speakers go of the comms device. By the way, you can add a comms device on the RPHA 1 as well. And it puts the speakers a little bit closer to your ears so that you can hear the audio of your fellow riders riding with you, or the music that you're playing louder. So another important thing for most lids is the glasses compatibility, and especially for those who wear glasses or shades. Now, this is still a clear visor, so you can imagine those of you who ride around with the RPHA 1 will probably be using shades most of the time here in the Philippines. And Earl, who owns this lid, says that he rides around with shades on all the time, and it is still very, very comfortable. All right, let's talk about safety, right? Because that's the reason why we put helmets on. We want to be safe. Some like the Porma, but I think safety should be the #1 priority. There are different ratings in the world, right? It is DOT, ECE, SNEL. The RPHA 11 that's available here in the Philippines is rated with a ECE, so it passed the ECE rating. The RPHA 1 is actually better. This is the safest helmet that HJC has ever produced. Higher than ECE, higher than SNEL. It is FIM homologated. All right, let's talk about the fit and interior. Now, I actually feel like the RPHA 11 is almost perfect for my face. It does fit really well. The RPHA 1, I've only put on once in the office, and well, I'm gonna try this on right now. So this is a medium, and I'm a medium with the RPHA 1 as well. I can say that you can feel the interior of the helmet being a little bit more premium than that of the RPHA 11. it does seem quite similar to that of the RPHA 11, to be honest with you, but a little bit better. I think in a way, it's kind of like having more thread count in your bed sheet. It's still a bed sheet, but it just feels better. Now, the RPHA 1 does also come with a chin curtain, which is the Velcro kind, but Earl decided not to use his. And in case you want to clean it, actually you should clean it every so often, you can take out the interior of the helmet and get it washed. And it's also important to note because this is a helmet made specifically for the racetrack. It has these emergency tabs right here. And in case of an incident on the racetrack and you need to take the helmet off the rider, all you gotta do is, well, unbuckle this, the double Ds, and then pop this out, and then you're able to easily take off the helmet from the rider. So let's talk about the price. The RPHA 1 starts at 39,000 Philippine pesos. That's just the clear white one, and it's, pretty simple, but still very nice. The standard graphics go for 45,000 Philippine pesos. Now, this special Red Bull graphic, RPHA 1, that belongs to Early of MotoDeal and MotoDeal, goes for 53,000 Philippine pesos. Sana all. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why not just get the RPHA 11 at about half the price of the RPHA 1? Now, I just want to point out that I've owned this helmet for over 2 years, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great helmet. It's super comfortable. I think it works really well whether I'm just riding around in the city or on the expressway or even on the racetrack. However, if something happened and I was on the racetrack traveling over 200 kilometers per hour, I would much rather be using the RPHA 1 in case something were to happen because it's the safest helmet HJC has ever produced. Now, you can get HJC helmets like the RPHA 1 and the RPHA 11 from Triumph JT, and we're going to flash their Facebook page right there in our lower thirds graphics. For more information about these helmets, the RPHA 11 and the RPHA 1, you can log on to www.motodeal.com.ph. This has been Jinno from Behind the Desk.